Todd's calling him.
Well, see him and get him, but I'm calling it to order, 6 o'clock. Let's call the Monday, November 6, 2023 meeting of the Dalton City Council to order. Mr. Parker will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda is before you. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Not, I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Goodletts, or second? Second by Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, because I have to vote right now, right? Yep. Yes, sir. No public commentary. Minutes are before you of the October 16th, 2023 meeting. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Not.
Move that we approve.
Motion by Mr. Farah, second by Mr. Goodlett. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mayor and council minutes of October 16th, 2023 meeting. Any additions, corrections, deletions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Goodlett,
I second.
second by Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. New business number 2. We got 2023 alcohol applications.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'll start with the first one being doing business as Home 2 Suites Dalton. The applicant's name is Noreen Patel. Location address is 865 Holiday Inn Drive. Type of license is being applied for pouring beer and wine. The next one will be doing business as Top Shelf Package. The applicant is Tilak Patel. Location address is 101 West Walnut Avenue, Suite 13. Type of license is being applied for a packaged beer, wine, and liquor. And we do have both representatives from each applications.
Okay. Do I hear a motion on this?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Goodlett,
Second.
second by Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 3, temporary construction easement for Ceratine Plant Concrete Pipelining Project, 1510 Coronet Drive.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is for the execution of the temporary construction easement between the city and the Joint Development Authority as part of the Ceratine Plant Pipelining Contract. The temporary construction easement will expire upon the completion of the project, which we anticipate being in March of 2024. This has been reviewed by the city attorney and executed by the Joint Development Authority.
Any questions, Todd?
I move that we approve the.
Motion by Mr. Farah, is there a second? Second by Mr. Goodlett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 4, temporary construction easements for 616, 618 McFarland Avenue to complete elements of the Ridge Street Stormwater Bypass Project.
Yes, as you have stated, this is for the execution of the temporary construction easements as part of the phase 2 of the Walnut North Drainage Improvement Project. Work within the easements is expected to be completed within 6 months. Once the work is complete, we will present at that time for a permanent drainage easement for these 2 parcels as well. This has been reviewed by the Public Works Committee as well as the city attorney.
Any questions, Chad?
No. Motion.
Motion by Mr. Goodlett,
Second.
second by Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 5, corrective action plan and temporary construction easement for 112 West Crawford Street.
Well, we're requesting to approve the corrective action plan for 112 West Crawford Street. As part of this corrective action plan, Public Works will extend our existing pipe network into the property located at 112 West Crawford Street to capture runoff from the city-owned alley behind the building. This being done to capture surface runoff from the alley as well as adjacent buildings that is resulting in overland flooding of the property as well as the sidewalk along Crawford Street. And again, this has been reviewed and approved by the Public Works Committee as well as the city attorney.
What's going to have to be done?
So there's an existing storm drain inlet at the back of our sidewalk. This is in the kind of an alley beside
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Perfect Cup. So we'll extend that pipe into the property where our unnamed alley is located to capture that runoff before it goes in between the buildings. Right
Okay.
now, it's running between the buildings, getting concentrated dump it out onto the sidewalk and then flooding the sidewalk area.
Okay. Any other questions? Your motion?
Move.
Motion by Mr. Ferris, second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 6, renewal of Junior Achievement Partnership Agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you may all be aware, and from 2021 to 2023, the city had a partnership agreement with Junior Achievement of Georgia when they built the JA Discovery Center near Hammond Creek Middle School. The city is represented in that Discovery Center, and as you can see on the photo, there's a replica City Hall storefront. And so the agreement from 21 to 23 has now lapsed, and JA has reached back out to us, as they're doing with all the other storefronts, to renew those agreements for another 3-year term. For us, it's a rate of $10,000 per year. And this is a great way to incorporate the city government information into the educational sessions that they have with middle school students in their JA BizTown and JA Finance Park courses.
Any questions? Your motion? Motion by Mr. Goodlet,
Second.
second by Mr. Farah. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 7, Airport 5-year federal state CIP submittal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Andrew Wiersma is at the airport's conference this week, but it's come that time of year again that we approve our 5-year capital outlay projects for the airport so that federal funds can be applied for. And what you see on the screen is the fiscal year 2024 through 2029 projects. I believe it's a total federal ask of just over 10 million. And if all the projects were approved, a local match of 881,000. This is more of a procedural thing that we have to do every year to be eligible for federal funds, and authorizing the local match if awarded any of these projects by the FAA. So we'll just ask for your approval so that we can get these documents executed and sent in for the next 5-year plan.
And the 881,000 would be like over 5 years.
Over 5 years, that's
And of
correct.
course, they're not all be approved. Okay.
And this has
Motion
been
to approve.
approved by the Airport Authority.
Any other questions?
So by approving this, if we do get the federal funding, we're agreeing to spend $881,000 over the
It's-
next 5 years.
Well, it's signaling a good faith effort. If awarded, we will have contracts that come back from GDOT that where you actually commit to the individual local matches. This just signals to FAA our willingness to participate, or otherwise we wouldn't be eligible for federal funds, period. Every airport in Georgia has to do this same thing to be eligible for federal funding.
Your motion?
So moved.
Motion, Goodlet,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Farah. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, Dennis is on, okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, resolution 23-21, internal management property donation for South Hamilton Street.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a property line cleanup issue down at the 900 South Hamilton Street parcel where we're working with the JDA in partnership to build the residential subdivision. There, in the title exam, it turned out that there was a 0.3 of an acre tract located just south of the land that the city owns that was transferred from Aladdin to Internal Management Incorporated. They have drafted a quitclaim deed to the city to allow us to build the full subdivision as per the plan you all have reviewed in the past from Carl Campbell. The only thing that they have asked for is to retain a 25-foot exclusive parking easement along the south side of the track that you see on the screen where the red arrow is. The plan is currently being revised to take that 25 feet out of the development area so that they can maintain that 25-foot exclusive easement. But this is just to accept the donation from Internal Management Incorporated.
Explain that easement again, what?
Internal Management, in order to donate to the city, they requested a 25-foot exclusive parking easement because the property that they own has no dedicated parking. So if they gave this to us without retaining a 25-foot easement, they wouldn't have any room for parking because this land is an existing gravel parking lot. so they can park on the gravel right now for the current building. They needed to retain that in order to make this donation.
Okay. Any other questions? Your motion?
Motion.
Motion
Yep.
by Mr. Goodlet, second by Mr. Mock. All in favor, say aye.
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 Like sign. Number 9, resolution 23-22 to introduce local legislation to Georgia General Assembly for the purpose of enacting a new charter for the city of Dalton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we talked about at the work session, last time we met in early October, late October, excuse me. City staff has been working with legal counsel, the minor firm, through Jonathan Bledsoe to update the city charter. We've had, I think, probably 5 different work sessions and public meetings over the course of 2023. And along the way, the draft has been fine-tuned and updated. And the overarching goal was to update the charter, which has not been updated in a wholesale fashion for probably 50 years. So there's a lot of updating work that's been done to better track with operating practices and state law requirements. And coming out of the work session, the council had asked for a few changes related to Dalton Public Schools debt issuance. Those have been made, as well as some language that was fine-tuned with the Water, Light, and Sinking Fund Commission regarding the transfer payment. All of those things have been updated since the last work session. So what we're asking for you to approve tonight is this resolution, which would approve the final charter draft, and then request our local delegation to introduce local legislation to approve the new charter in the 2024 session of the General Assembly. And Jonathan Bledsoe is here tonight if you have any specific questions about the charter.
I know we've been working on this the first time I was mayor in 09 or whatever, 10. What took so long? Was it Bernadette?
You all requested, Mayor, and let me just tell you, we appreciate the fact that you requested that this be done at this time. It is a very important project, and we appreciate you letting us be involved in it and handle it, and very happy to see it to conclusion tonight.
Questions?
I move that we approve and send to the General Assembly for their consideration.
Motion by Mr. Farah,
Second.
Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I do want to commend Andrew and Jonathan for all their persistence here, and maybe we've had a few bumps along the road, but we got
About Bernadette.
Well, Bernadette too.
Well, and to that point, I want to recognize our department heads too, because there was a lot of quality control work along the way to make sure what we were doing was right. So it is a project that we're all very pleased to have completed.
Yep. Good job, Jonathan. Number 10, second amendment to the development agreement for the Carpentry LLC.
Mayor and Council. The Carpentry LLC has requested an extension of time to complete the hotel. As you know, the hotel is in TAD Area 1, and they are asking for an extension from October 31st of this year to December 31st of this year.
Casey's assured me it's going to be open by December 1st. So now he wants to December.
Well,
31st.
I tacked a few weeks on there so I wouldn't have to come back.
Any questions?
Move we approve.
Motion by Mr. Ferris, second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 11, first reading ordinance 23-24 to make findings of fact concerning the public use and necessity of a section of Alabama Street for public transportation. Declare the closing of such portion of Alabama Street, to authorize delivery of a quitclaim deed of any interest of the city of Dalton, except retention of an easement for utility infrastructure to adjacent property owners, to establish an effective date and for other purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll take this one. It was brought to our attention from legal counsel that as part of the Hamilton Medical Center's Cardiovascular Institute expansion, in the due diligence for that, they located this unopened right-of-way, as you referred to it, as Alabama Street, that was actually platted as part of a Crown Mill subdivision where the hospital sits today. And in looking back through the title work, that this street had never been properly closed. Obviously, there's no improvements. There's no roadway that's currently built, but you can see it there on the screen represented by those red lines. This is in that undeveloped tract out at North Thornton and Memorial Drive where the pine trees are. And so to allow them to move forward with the project, their legal counsel has requested us to close that street properly. So we have advertised it, and we would move to close this at our next council meeting under the second reading. And as noted in the notes here, Dalton Utilities did request to retain a utility easement if closed, and the hospital has agreed to that. And I think as a matter of housekeeping, Mr. City Attorney, we need to ask if there's any public comments related to this closure.
That's correct. This can serve as the public hearing under the state statute if anyone has a comment for the council.
We'll take action then on November 27th. Number 12, ordinance 23-25, the request of Jessica Sandoval and Cesar Sandoval Silva to annex 0.19 acres located at 1505 Hale Bowen Drive into the city of Dalton as medium density, single family residential R3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ethan Calhoun couldn't be with us tonight, but this was a fairly straightforward annexation request. This is another one of the homes along Hale Bowen Drive and Fraser Drive that was developed a few years ago in the county. I believe this is now our 6th annexation request of the 30 lots that were single family homes were constructed on. And you can see there on the map, the blue areas are the ones that have already been annexed into the city. The reasons noted in the Planning Commission and staff's recommendation on this was that the subject property is adjoined by the city boundary to the west and the north. Annexation will further reduce an unincorporated island. There's no proposed change in the current use. And as I said, Planning Commission and staff provided a positive recommendation to approve. The only condition that was placed as part of their action on this tract was that the property owner will be required to bring their garbage for service to Fraser Drive and keep him with the other two on this private driveway since it was not constructed to city standards. And so that would be the same condition placed on this tract if approved, so that we can continue to serve that but not affect that private driveway structural integrity with these heavy trucks.
Are the public roads, what's in brown?
That's correct. So Fraser Drive, you see running north to south, and then where it shows site with the black outline, that long rectangular track running east and west is where the private drive is situated. And you can see on that where the house on the very far end of that private street has already been annexed, as has the one that immediately adjoins Fraser Drive.
So that's a private street, not a lot.
That's correct. It's not been officially named. The issue here is that the property has been in the county. So if we annex into the city, then the city fire department controls addressing in the city. We would probably name it. That was noted in the fire marshal's review of this, that this eventually needs to be named as a private street so that it's easier to find for emergencies.
Do we have to wait until everything on the street's annexed?
I don't think so, because if you'll recall, a few months ago, the city accepted the donation of the tract behind these areas, and we've got the city attorney currently reviewing that to determine what that means for us as far as the private street. But I believe we could go ahead and petition to annex the city tract, and that would by virtue also annex this private drive tract as well.
That's currently our recommendation. We'll have to get forms.
So that would be a net effect of what we do tonight if we'd annex the private drive as well.
Not tonight. I guess I should say by further request of the city, since the city now owns this long rectangular tract just behind the residential lots, we could petition ourselves to annex this lot, and that would include the private drive. But the request before you tonight is simply the 0.19 acre tract located at 1505. It does not include that private drive at this time, but the city could initiate that at the next planning commission meeting.
I move we annex the property.
Motion by Mr. Farrer. Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign. Number 13, appointment of Matt Daniel as fire chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask Assistant City Administrator Todd to introduce the candidate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Andrew. Tonight, we're bringing forward Division Chief Matt Daniel for your appointment to as my successor as fire chief. After an interview and selection process that was conducted by Public Safety Commission in conjunction with the city administration, Chief Daniel was named sole finalist for the position of fire chief on August 24th of Dalton Fire Department. This will, as I've said, fill the vacancy that was left after my move to Assistant City Administrator. Chief Daniel has been employed with Dalton Fire Department since January 2002. Since that time, he has rose through the ranks while assigned in the Suppression Division until he was promoted as Preventions Division Coordinator in November of 2017, and then eventually being promoted to Division Chief in July 2001. Since that time, he has shown his ability to lead as the head of a division and has moved the prevention division forward as according to the vision of the department. Matt also carries a level 3 NICET certification, which, for your information, that's National Institute for Certification in Engineering Technology. And I mention that because that is very hard to obtain. And this is an example of his drive and determination in accomplishing task and goal. And also during his time as division chief, I've received as a fire chief numerous compliments from both internal staff as well as the public on Matt's abilities and his ability to communicate. Matt has implemented processes within the preventions division that has improved our efficiency as well as productivity within the division. I am personally confident in Chief Daniel's ability to continue the excellence that has been synonymous with Dalton Fire Department for many years.
And if Mr. Mayor, before the vote, if we've got Chairman Whitfield here tonight, who led the Public Safety Commission through this process, I just wanted to thank him for his leadership in this effort, and also thank Acting Chief Mike Russell for serving the city through this transition. Greatly appreciated.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Goodlet.
Second.
Second, Mr. Fair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sign. Congratulations, Matt. Yeah, you fought on a lot of really, really good fire chiefs, the great department. There's no supplemental business. We've got announcements. City government offices will be closed Thursday, November 23rd and Friday, November 24th for the Thanksgiving holidays. City council meeting scheduled for Monday, November 20th has been canceled and rescheduled for Monday, November 27th. Is there a motion we adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned.